The UK is home to many haunted pubs, each with eerie tales and ghostly sightings. These old inns, often centuries old, have witnessed dark histories of murders, mysterious disappearances, and restless spirits. Visitors and staff report strange noises, shadowy figures, objects moving on their own, and even ghostly apparitions. Some pubs are said to be haunted by former landlords, tragic lovers, or soldiers from the past. Whether you're a believer or just curious, these haunted pubs offer a chilling yet fascinating experience for those who dare to visit. Now we will visit the most haunted pubs in the UK. Number 1. The Olde Salutation Inn. Nestled in the heart of Nottingham, the Olde Salutation Inn is one of England's oldest and most haunted pubs. Dating back to 1240, this historic inn has a dark and eerie past that has left behind chilling ghost stories and unexplained paranormal activity. Beneath the pub lies a network of ancient caves that once served as homes, storage spaces, and even secret meeting spots. These caves are believed to be a hotspot for ghostly encounters, adding to the pub's terrifying reputation. One of the most famous spirits said to haunt the inn is that of Rosie, a young girl who allegedly died in the building centuries ago. Many visitors and staff claim to have seen her ghost wandering around, playing tricks by moving objects, and even giggling when no one else is around. Her presence is often felt in the upper floors, where sudden temperature drops and eerie whispers have been reported. Another well-known ghost is that of a highwayman believed to have been killed in the pub long ago. His spirit is often seen lurking in dark corners, appearing as a shadowy figure that disappears when approached. Some visitors have even claimed to feel an invisible force push past them, as if the restless highwayman is still trying to escape capture. The underground caves beneath the inn hold even more chilling tales. Some believe these tunnels were used as a hiding place during the English Civil War, with many soldiers meeting gruesome fates in the dark depths. Staff members have reported hearing footsteps echoing through the caves, whispers from unseen figures, and even ghostly screams. Many paranormal investigators have explored these tunnels, capturing strange voices and sudden movements on their equipment. One particularly terrifying story is that of a former landlord who supposedly hanged himself in the building. His spirit is said to linger in the pub, occasionally making his presence known by slamming doors, flickering lights, or even appearing as a shadowy figure. Some visitors have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness in certain areas of the inn, as if his sorrow still lingers. With its long history, dark secrets, and countless reports of paranormal activity, the Olde Salutation Inn remains one of the most haunted pubs in the UK. Whether you're a ghost hunter or just curious, stepping inside this ancient inn might just give you an encounter you'll never forget. Number 2. The Mermaid Inn. Located in the historic town of Rye, the Mermaid Inn is one of England's most haunted pubs, with a chilling history that dates back to the 12th century. This ancient inn, with its creaking floorboards, secret passageways, and eerie atmosphere, has been home to ghostly activity for centuries. Many guests and staff members have reported paranormal encounters, making it a hotspot for ghost hunters and thrill seekers alike. One of the most infamous connections to the Mermaid Inn is the Hawkhurst Gang, a group of ruthless smugglers who used the inn as their headquarters in the 18th century. These criminals were known for their violent ways, often engaging in bloody fights and executions. Some say their spirits never left, as many of the hauntings in the inn are linked to their presence. One of the most terrifying ghostly encounters happens in the King's Mill Room. A former guest once claimed to have seen two ghostly men enter the room, engage in a duel, and one of them collapse from an invisible sword wound before both figures disappeared into thin air. This spectral battle is said to replay itself from time to time, as if history refuses to be forgotten. Another well-known apparition is that of a lady in white, believed to be the ghost of a former chambermaid. She has been spotted sitting in a rocking chair in one of the bedrooms before fading away into nothingness. Some guests have even woken up to find the chair moving on its own, as if an unseen presence is still using it. In one of the upper rooms, There are chilling reports of a ghostly figure that passes through the walls, terrifying anyone who witnesses it. Some say the spirit is a former smuggler trying to escape unseen, except now, in death, he is forever trapped. Perhaps the most unsettling of all the hauntings at the Mermaid Inn is the feeling of being watched. Many guests have reported waking up in the middle of the night with an intense sense of dread, as if unseen eyes are observing them from the shadows. Some have even felt an icy touch on their skin or heard whispers in the darkness. With its violent past, restless spirits, and countless ghostly sightings, the Mermaid Inn remains one of the most haunted pubs in the UK. If you dare to visit, be prepared. You may leave with more than just a good story, but an encounter with the supernatural itself. Number 3. The Drovers Inn. Nestled near the shores of Loch Lomond, Scotland, the Drovers Inn is one of the most haunted pubs in the UK. Established in 1705, this eerie and atmospheric inn has been welcoming travelers for centuries, but some guests may have never truly left. With its dimly lit hallways, creaking floors, and centuries-old furniture, it's no surprise that the Drovers Inn is home to numerous ghostly encounters and chilling tales. One of the most famous hauntings at the Drovers Inn is the spirit of a young girl who tragically drowned in the nearby river. It is said that her body was brought to the inn, and ever since, her ghost has been seen wandering the hallways. Guests have reported hearing soft crying in the night and even feeling the sudden cold touch of a small hand. Some have even seen her standing at the foot of their bed before vanishing into thin air. Another well-known ghost is that of a former drover, one of the cattle herders who used to stay at the inn centuries ago. Many visitors have witnessed his shadowy figure near the bar, sometimes even feeling a tap on the shoulder when no one is there. Some believe he still lingers, watching over the place he once called home. Room 6 is said to be the most haunted of all. Guests who have stayed in this room have experienced everything from objects moving on their own to the overwhelming feeling of being watched. Some have even reported waking up to see an apparition of a man dressed in old-fashioned clothing staring at them before disappearing. One of the most terrifying encounters happened in the pub's lounge area, where staff members have reported hearing disembodied footsteps, whispered voices, and sudden drops in temperature. Glasses have been seen flying off shelves without explanation, and some visitors claim to have felt an invisible presence brushing past them. The taxidermy animals displayed around the pub also add to its unsettling atmosphere. Some visitors believe they have seen the eyes of the mounted stag heads following them, and a few have even reported hearing low growls from the stuffed animals, despite them being long dead. With its rich history, eerie atmosphere, and countless ghostly encounters, the Drovers Inn is a must-visit for those fascinated by the paranormal. Whether you come for the history, the haunting tales, or just a drink, you may leave with more than you bargained for, perhaps even a ghostly companion. Number 4. The Golden Fleece. Located in the heart of York, the Golden Fleece is one of the oldest and most haunted pubs in England. Dating back to 1503, this historic inn has seen centuries of history, making it a hotspot for paranormal activity. With countless ghost sightings, eerie encounters, and a chilling atmosphere, it's no wonder this pub is often called the most haunted in the UK. One of the most famous ghosts at the Golden Fleece is Lady Alice Peckett, the wife of former York Mayor John Peckett, who once owned the inn. It is said that her spirit still roams the hallways, moving furniture in the night and appearing as a shadowy figure. Many guests have reported hearing footsteps pacing around their rooms, only to find no one there. Some have even claimed to feel a ghostly presence watching them as they sleep. Another well-known spirit is that of One-Eyed Jack, a ghostly figure dressed in a red coat and a tricorn hat, believed to be a former soldier. He has been spotted standing near the bar and in the upstairs rooms, sometimes even carrying a pistol. Many guests have reported seeing his apparition before he vanishes into thin air. Room 4 is considered the most haunted room in the pub. Many guests who have stayed there have reported terrifying encounters, including the feeling of being pushed, shaken, or even touched by an unseen force. Some have even woken up to find the ghostly figure of a man standing over their bed. only for him to disappear moments later. The spirit of a Victorian boy, believed to have died under mysterious circumstances, is also said to haunt the pub. Visitors have heard the sound of a child giggling or crying, and some have even reported feeling a small, cold hand touch them. Staff members claim to have seen the boy's reflection in mirrors, even when no one else was in the room. The cellar of the Golden Fleece is another paranormal hotspot. Staff members have reported bottles moving on their own, strange whispers, and an overwhelming feeling of dread when entering the space. Some believe this is due to the pub's proximity to an ancient burial site, which could explain the restless spirits. With its dark history, ghostly figures, and unexplained happenings, the Golden Fleece remains one of the most haunted pubs in the UK. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, stepping inside this legendary inn might just leave you questioning what lurks in the shadows. Number 5. The Red Lion Inn. Located in the heart of Avebury, Wiltshire, the Red Lion Inn is not only famous for being surrounded by the ancient Avebury stone circle, but also for being one of the most haunted pubs in the UK. With a history dating back to the 16th century, this inn has been the site of tragic deaths, ghostly encounters, and chilling paranormal activity that continues to haunt visitors and staff to this day. The most famous ghost said to haunt the Red Lion Inn is Florrie, a woman who was brutally murdered by her husband in the 17th century. According to legend, Florrie's husband was a soldier who left for war, only to return home and discover that she had taken a lover. In a fit of rage, he dragged Florrie to the pub's well and threw her in, sealing her fate. Ever since, her restless spirit has been seen roaming the inn, particularly near the well, which is now a glass-covered feature in the dining area. Many visitors have reported seeing Florrie's ghostly figure, described as a woman in a white dress, appearing near the well before mysteriously vanishing. Florrie isn't the only spirit haunting the Red Lion Inn. Phantom horses and ghostly carriages have been heard arriving outside the pub late at night, yet when staff go to check, there is no sign of anyone there. Some believe these ghostly sounds come from travelers who once passed through Avebury centuries ago. The upper rooms of the inn are also filled with supernatural activity. Guests staying overnight have reported strange knocking sounds, whispering voices, and even the feeling of an unseen presence sitting on their bed. Some have even woken up to see shadowy figures standing at the foot of their bed, watching them before disappearing into thin air. Staff members have also had their fair share of ghostly experiences. Many have reported seeing glasses flying off shelves, furniture moving on its own, and sudden cold spots appearing out of nowhere. Some refuse to enter certain parts of the inn alone, especially after dark. With its eerie atmosphere, tragic past, and countless ghostly sightings, the Red Lion Inn remains one of the most haunted pubs in the UK. Whether you visit for the history, the spirits, or just a drink, be warned, you may not be drinking alone. Number 6. The Spaniard's Inn. Located in Hampstead, London, the Spaniard's Inn is one of the oldest and most haunted pubs in the UK. Dating back to 1585, this historic inn has been a witness to centuries of eerie tales, ghostly encounters, and chilling legends. With its dark wooden beams, dim candlelit atmosphere, and secluded location, it's no surprise that this pub is home to numerous paranormal experiences. One of the most famous spirits said to haunt the Spaniard's Inn is Dick Turpin, the notorious highwayman. Legend has it that Turpin and his gang frequented the inn, using it as a hideout while robbing wealthy travelers on nearby roads. Some stories even claim that his father was once the landlord of the pub. Today, many visitors and staff members have reported hearing the sound of galloping hooves outside the inn, despite there being no horses nearby. Others have seen a dark, shadowy figure standing near the bar, or felt a sudden icy chill when mentioning Turpin's name. Another tragic spirit that lingers in the Spaniard's Inn is that of two Spanish brothers who were said to have once owned the pub. According to legend, the brothers fell in love with the same woman, leading to a brutal duel to the death outside the inn. One of them was killed, and his spirit is said to still haunt the pub. Staff members have reported seeing a ghostly figure in old Spanish clothing wandering through the inn, and hearing unexplained whispers in Spanish late at night. The ghostly presence of a woman in white has also been seen roaming the pub and its surroundings. Some believe she was a victim of highwaymen, possibly murdered near the inn centuries ago. Guests have witnessed her pale, ghostly figure standing in doorways or floating through walls, only to vanish without a trace. Even outside the inn, ghostly encounters continue. The nearby Spaniard's Road is infamous for sightings of a spectral black dog with glowing red eyes. Many believe this phantom hound is a harbinger of doom, appearing before unfortunate events take place. With its rich history, dark past, and numerous supernatural encounters, the Spaniard's Inn remains one of the most haunted pubs in the UK. Whether you visit for a drink, the history, or a ghostly encounter, be prepared. You may not be alone in the shadows. Number 7. The White Hart Inn. Nestled in the heart of Edinburgh's Grassmarket, the White Hart Inn is one of Scotland's oldest and most haunted pubs. Dating back to 1516, this historic pub has witnessed centuries of dark events, from public executions to violent crimes. With its eerie atmosphere and chilling, ghostly encounters, the White Hart Inn is often regarded as one of the most haunted locations in the UK. One of the most infamous spirits said to haunt the pub is that of a murdered young woman. According to legend, she was brutally killed in one of the rooms above the inn centuries ago. Guests who have stayed overnight have reported strange whispering in the night, sudden temperature drops, and even the feeling of unseen hands touching them. Some have even woken up to find a ghostly figure standing at the foot of their bed, watching them before disappearing. The pub's location in Grassmarket adds to its dark history. This area was once the site of public executions, where criminals and accused witches were hanged in front of large crowds. Many believe that the spirits of these tortured souls still linger, unable to find peace. Visitors have reported disembodied screams, unexplained footsteps, and shadowy figures moving through the pub, especially near the cellar. The cellar itself is a paranormal hotspot, with reports of objects moving on their own and eerie laughter echoing through the space. Some staff members have refused to enter alone, claiming they felt an invisible presence watching them or even heard ghostly voices whispering their names. Another chilling tale connected to the White Hart Inn is the story of two men who mysteriously vanished after drinking at the pub. The men were last seen enjoying a drink before being lured outside, where they were allegedly murdered and robbed. Their bodies were never found, but their spirits are said to still haunt the pub. Some visitors claim to see two shadowy figures sitting at a table before vanishing into thin air. Perhaps the most terrifying ghostly presence is that of a violent poltergeist. Several customers and staff members have experienced glasses being thrown off tables, chairs moving on their own, and loud bangs coming from empty rooms. Some have even felt an unseen force shoving them or tugging at their clothes. With its tragic past, ghostly legends, and terrifying encounters, the White Hart Inn remains one of the most haunted pubs in the UK. Whether you visit for a drink, the history, or a paranormal experience, you may leave with more than just a good story. You may leave with a ghostly encounter you'll never forget.